Let's see. Are we working now? Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone. How are you guys? I hope you're all having a good day. Sorry about that. Little bit of mic issues, and then of course, my husband came back from Lowe's and needed me to do a few things before I was able to go live. So I did have to push back a couple minutes. I apologize to anyone who was here on time. Unfortunately, I was not. Hi, Ringo. How are you? So, guys, we have a lot to talk about. Um, Obviously, the Senate Majority Leader vote is getting ready to happen in the next couple days. Very, very important vote that is going to take place behind the scenes between the Republican senators that have been elected and that are in office. It's very important who that leader will be. That is going to determine what Trump is honestly able to get done during his 4 years as president. I don't know how many of you guys recall, but a lot of people have complained about the fact that, he maybe didn't accomplish everything that he wanted to back in 2016. A lot of that had to do with Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell was blocking, or rather not even blocking. He just wasn't putting things to the table to be discussed that was on Trump's agenda. He would keep things on the back burner and not present them to the Senate so that they could discuss them so that they could get laws passed. And so it's extremely crucial that does not happen this time. We really need to make sure that somebody in that position is going to be a good fit. But before we even get into all of the stuff going on with the Senate, with between Mitch McConnell, uh, with uh, with these three senators that are running, we got John Cornyn, John Thune, and Rick Scott. My personal pick would be Rick Scott, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more in detail. Right now, John Thune and John Cornyn are supposed to be the favored people for that position, based off of what we're seeing in the mainstream media. The issue with that is both of those senators have um, gone against President Trump multiple times in the past, very publicly. John Cornyn was actually, begging for Trump not to be in the position that he is in, and different things like that. I just don't see their ideologies and their goals lining up. And honestly, these are senators that have been in their position for 20 plus years. They've done nothing, in my opinion, thus far, and are more towards the Democratic slash RHINO side of things. This other half of our party that nobody really wants to discuss or point out. I think personally, though, that we cannot expect the Democratic Party to clean out and weed out the people who are doing bad things in their party if we don't weed out the people who are doing bad things in ours. And so that's the first thing there. But before we get into that, though, I do want to go over this this speech that President Trump did. Now, I will tell you that this is a year ago that he put out this information about what he was planning to do on day one. And so there's two parts of this. I hope and pray that this is actually where he goes and the steps that he takes for our children on day one, because this is something that needs to happen. And so let me pull this up. Okay. So this is something that one of the channels that I follow, they did pull this back up, and they basically put this out as if it just came out right after he won the election. It didn't. I did find the original speech. I did find the original media, and it is from over a year ago. However, he does talk about day one, what his plans are, and so that's where what we're gonna look at.
The left wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so called gender affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
So this is just part of this speech. I have the other part that I'm going to pull up in a minute, but I do want to talk about this part first. This is huge to me. I am in no way against adults who want to make their own decisions. You want to change your identity. You want to change your sex. You want to be gay, transgender, any of those things, bisexual, whatever it is that you are choosing as an adult, you do you, boo. You do your thing. I am in no way sitting here saying that I stand against that or that I will stand in your way in any way, shape, or form. But leave our children alone. And I totally agree with him. I think that the reason that this movement has gotten so popular and the reason that our mental health crisis has gotten so out of control in this country is because of this agenda that has been pushed on children at ages that they don't even understand their body parts. I mean, we're talking about kindergarteners, we're talking about children younger than that. I will never forget whenever we were sitting there watching Coco Melon with my with my child who was 3 years old, and Coco Melon had a song about being born in the wrong body, and basically telling the child that they can be absolutely anything that they want to be and imagine to be and things like that, and had the child doing all the different things. And to me it goes too far. The minute that you start ingraining that into children's heads in preschool type situations and in those types of songs, it goes too far, especially whenever the vast majority of our country does not even allow teenagers or children to engage in sexual activities until they are of the age of 16. Anything under that is statutory rape in a lot of states. So why are we allowing them? We're saying that they're too immature to engage in sexual activities, but they're mature enough to make the decision without their parents' consent, without their parents' knowledge, to change their gender and to have lifelong side effects from the different types of therapies and medications and things like that that they have to go through whenever they start that gender reassignment process. And so this 1000%, I really do truly hope that day one, he completely stops this attack against our children and their mental health state and things like that. We need to leave the children completely out of it. If you grow up and you decide that, hey, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, that, perhaps you decide that you want to be a lesbian or be gay or do any of those things, you do you, but don't try to tell my 5-year-old that they're in the wrong body or that they're doing the wrong things. So I have a couple different videos that I want to show you guys before I show you the next thing. This one is actually from TikTok. It is a sorry. It is an LGB patriot, and she is speaking out against this movement. And I think it's important to see that it's not just the typical, you know, ultra right wing people that are having issues with the things that are going on in this movement. I think it's important to normalize the fact that the vast majority of our country does not agree with the different things that are going on. And it doesn't matter if you're uh, gay, straight, a lesbian. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, orange, cream colored. It doesn't matter. There are people who are having issues with all of this stuff. So let me see this here. So this is this video that she did, and I completely agree with it. Let me get you sound.
And I think that, frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if me and Trump won just the normal gay guy vote.
What?
Because, again, they just wanted to be left the hell alone.
You're safe.
The normal gay guy vote is what he said. I wouldn't be surprised if we win just the normal gay guy vote because they just wanted to be left alone. They just wanted to be able to love who they wanted to love. They just wanted to be able to do their own thing, is what he said.
Jeffrey, he's not talking about you. I think he's talking about me, well, normal gay girl, and other people like me. The LGB part. Because the LGB part is tired of y'all in the TIAQXYZ. Because about 2015, we got marriage rights. That was all we needed. That is all we needed for equality. People were dancing in the streets, we were excited, and no one gave a shit about us. It's only been about the last 5 years that people have given a giant shit about us, and homophobia is on the rise. People don't like us again. Why is that? What changed? Do you think that people just woke up one day and became more cruel? No. People like you, Jeffrey, and the rest of the TIAQXYZ came out and said, cool, now we're going to involve children. Cool, now we're going to have our teachers teach woke gender ideology, and you have to be okay with it. Cool, now we're going to push for children to be able to reassign their gender, and you just have to accept it. The world is not accepting of it. The world is accepting of the LGB, and even some of the T, if you want to mind your business as an adult, not push those ideas on anyone else, and just be a person, like everyone else. That is what the world accepts. But this new woke ideology y'all have going on when, remember when that trans person went to Disney and talked about his jingle balls in front of children? Yeah, that's what people aren't cool with. So look around, because JD is right. The gays are turning red. Look on just this platform how many gay people are voting red for the first time. Because y'all, we are tired. You guys ruined it for us.
And I think that this is where things have gotten so convoluted, because we have tried to tiptoe around these conversations because we are afraid that we're going to offend maybe our normal I hate to even say this, but our normal gay friends, right? I have people that I consider my friends that are gay. I don't care that they are gay. I have no issue with that. That is on them. That is between their themselves and their loved one, just like my relationship is between myself and my husband. They don't care that I'm straight any more than I care that they're gay. And I think that what's happening is in our politics right now, we have gotten so far right and so far left on both sides as far as what's being publicized on the media and in the streets that we forget that there's a middle. And guys, I want to tell you this, in the middle, the reason that we forget that there's a middle is because the middle has stayed quiet for so dang long. The middle has stayed quiet for too freaking long. It's okay to be in the middle. It's okay to agree with some policies, but disagree with others. It's okay to speak your mind and say what you believe in. It's okay. And it's okay to offend people. It happens. I swear, I'm in a situation right now. I have lost over 100 subscribers in the last, I would say, 36 hours. I'm okay with that. If you have to hate me because I single handedly, you're welcome, I single handedly elected President Trump, um, then you do you. That's on you. I don't care. You know what I mean? And so this is where we are. This is where we are. Um, I won't let politics divide me to the point where I hate someone who I have been friends with or loved for years and years and years and years and years. But the extreme policy on both sides has to stop. So how do we stop it? How do we get how do we go forward to make sure that the middle is allowed to exist? That these people in the middle are allowed to be here and not be afraid to talk. Well, we have to get rid of the rhinos on the Republican side and the extremist on the left side. That's where we are. We have to, uh, there has to be things in place so that, uh, frankly, the corporate media is not allowed to pollute people's minds. Let me tell you, the mental health crisis that is happening simply because we have a different president that is differing from their views is disturbing. I'm sure you guys have seen the videos of them completely going insane, of people. I've heard that the suicide hotlines um, have been extremely busy, that there have been people that are committing suicide and things like that, all because President Trump was elected. Why do they have that fear? Why do they think that this is so dire and that this man is going to end their lives or end everything that's going on around them? Well, it's simple. In order to try to gain a re-election, the news media has promoted him as this fascist Nazi dictator. Meanwhile, in other countries, last night, actual Jewish people were actually being attacked. Did you guys see those videos of the actual Jews being attacked by Palestinians in the other countries? Hunted down and forced to say free Palestine and beat in the streets. Put a 1 in the chat if you see Oh my gosh, I read that whole article. When did I mute? I didn't even know that I muted. Since I said put a 1, why did I do that? I must have bumped it. I was on a roll too. I sure was. I was talking away. That's so funny. No, so here it is. They are literally attacking Israeli people in the streets in Amsterdam, is what I was reading about. After a soccer game or football game, soccer for us, this man was walking down the streets and he got attacked by 10 different men, and they were screaming Palestine. They took videos of them. There's videos surfacing of different events. Their drive by. Let me just read the article. The police are saying that they are hit and run events, and it's a huge deal. I mean, but Trump's the Nazi, right? We can't keep spouting that type of hateful rhetoric, especially whenever it's not true. That's the biggest thing, especially when it's not true. So here is the other half of this video. Ah, man. I know, dumpster fire, right? Sorry, guys. So here's the rest of this video. Laura Loomer put the second half out. Let's hear what this has to say.
Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all. And corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them. Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every inspector general's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America.
You stop and wonder, why did they fight against him so hard? Why do they try to paint him as so evil? Why do you sit there and try to do that? What was the motivation behind starting this mental health crisis that I truly think that they are behind? This is why. 100,000 people. He's talking about they're all losing their jobs. he wants to move it out of there. He wants all these people, all these bureaucrats that have been controlling things behind the scenes for who knows how long. They're done. They are done. High ocean tide. Yeah, right. It is usually you. Ramblin'. I will throw the links in the description. Um, but so this is it.
Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies.
Talk about stopping the payoffs. They regulate the companies. They want to be the governors of the companies, and then they take jobs from the companies. Talk about why do so many people go into our political offices and become billionaires? Boom. What? We're going to stop that? We're going to stop their fundraising? We're going to stop their behind the scenes dirty money?
Doesn't work that way. Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to oppose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people. Thank you very much.
Term limits. Seriously, if he was able to get term limits passed this time around, oh my gosh, you guys. The fact that he even said it, I was so excited because I'm sorry, but there is no reason that these people should be sitting there in these situations for 20, 30, 40, 50 years doing absolutely nothing for the people. Absolutely nothing. The major thing he needs to address and hasn't been touched on is the major property home rental insurance crisis. People can't insure their homes or investment properties. The insurance companies are pulling out. Oh, really, Ringo? See, I don't even know that much about that. That's crazy. Is it like in areas where tragedies have happened, like the hurricanes or anything like that? Yeah, ramen noodles are getting old, right? Thank you so much, Ocean Tide. I appreciate you. Cray Cray said, wouldn't he have fixed the deep state last term? So this is kind of what I started out the video addressing a little bit. The issue with his time in office the first time around was that he had Mitch McConnell stopping things left and right from even being talked about in the Senate. He was dealing with a situation where he didn't have the majority the second four or the end of the last 2 years he did not have the majority. In the first 2 years that he did have the majority, he had Mitch McConnell as the Senate leader, and Mitch refused to talk about things. He refused to put things on the table. Mitch McConnell is a Republican who is very openly against Donald Trump. He literally wrote a book basically bashing Donald Trump. In that book, a lot, a lot, a lot. And so that's what happened the first time. That's crazy. State Farm Farmers Insurance. That's crazy, Ringo. I had no clue. That is awful. Absolutely awful. So Mitch McConnell is pulling out. He's not going to be the Senate leader this next time. And so that's great news. The problem is Mitch, even though he is not going to be the Senate majority leader, he is hoping that either one of the Johns, he doesn't care which one, either one of the Johns is who Mitch McConnell wants to take over. He is against Rick Scott. And so that tells me that Rick Scott needs to win, because if Mitch McConnell is standing against him and standing for the Johns, I'm sorry, but then Rick Scott is probably the guy that we need. Yeah, Dinosaur needs to go. They pulled your insurance out of your investment properties. What? I am so sorry, Ringo. That is horrible. I'm gonna have to like dig more into that because I do not have enough information about that to try to discuss that during this live. But for sure, if you ever want to come up on panel and discuss that, I am absolutely for it. So this is it. So typically the Senate election for their majority leader would happen in January. For whatever reason, they decided that it's going to happen in November. Not only is it going to happen in November, but they want it to be a secret ballot. So what that means is they're basically going to hand out the ballots, and us as the American people are going to have no idea who voted for who. What that does is that puts us in a position where if you want change the second term, you don't know which senators that you want that need to go. You don't know um which senators are the rhinos, which senators are actually for the MAGA movement, which ones will back Trump, which ones won't back Trump, which ones are basically, you know, against what we just voted that we wanted. And so they want it to be a private vote. And so it says Trump's victory scrambles a three-way race for Senate Republican leader. Longtime Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell is stepping down, setting up a race to replace him between John Thune of South Dakota, John Cornyn of Texas, and Trump ally Rick Scott. Now, this John Cornyn, he has not only sided against Trump multiple times, he was very against him being in a situation where he was even running. He has done videos where he has openly asked for Trump not to run and asked for people not to support Trump. He's just a whole mess. So the idea of him being elected, we are going to have another Mitch McConnell. Um, and so I have a video about that. Let me pull that up real quick. It's just a shorty. Where are we at? Here it is. Okay.
Prize that none of us.
So this is John Cornyn, and he has been pro-war. Basically everything that the Democrats have done, he has voted right alongside them every step of the way, and he has not opposed any of this craziness that's been going on. He wants to get Senate Majority Leader. How much progress could Trump really make trying to turn things around if he has somebody in place that has voted for half of the things to take place to begin with?
I fully expect, unless there's some surprise that none of us know anything about right now, that Joe Biden will be the next president.
Strong words from U.S. Senator John Cornyn out of Texas. The Republican says former President Donald Trump can't win the 2024 general election for president. He also says the GOP needs to find a candidate who actually can. This was all in a call with Texas reporters. Cornyn saying, I think President Trump's time has passed him by. And he adds, I don't think President Trump understands that when you run in a general election, you got to appeal to voters beyond your base.
Mr. President, I rise today to mark an important milestone for our friend, Senator Mitch McConnell. Senator McConnell's done it the old-fashioned way. He earned it. He earned this role as our leader and the respect certainly that goes along with it. But more than that, he's a rare example of what a senator ought to be. So thank you, Senator McConnell, for your example. Thank you for your mentorship and for your friendship.
Just a few weeks into our partnership as leader and whip, John presented me with a birthday gift. He'd framed and autographed a picture of ourselves. Just an ordinary, not particularly glamorous shot of the two of us.
And I've passed more legislation, more bipartisan legislation than any other member of the Senate. That's not a mistake. It's because I reach out to people like Kirsten Sinema from Arizona, even Mark Warner from Virginia.
And then
Now, let me be clear in saying that I don't necessarily think that being bipartisan is the worst thing in the entire world. I do think that obviously we need to try to find that middle ground where both parties can come together and agree on different things so that each side is representative, but that we have this healthy middle ground. The issue that I have is that I am extremely concerned with some of the stuff that he has gone to the Democratic side on stuff that was very bad for America and that cost us billions and trillions of dollars going overseas and different things like that. It's been really sad.
There was his handwritten message. Happy birthday, Mitch. I've got your back. And how fortunate I've been to be reminded every single day since that John Cornyn meant exactly what he said.
I want to bring this up as well. Liz Cheney, it'd be hard to find somebody more conservative in Congress than Liz Cheney. Perpetuating the big lie is an attack on the core of our constitutional republic. Is she right?
Well, I believe Joe Biden won the election, and President Trump had about 60 different lawsuits that were unsuccessful in changing the outcome. But there's no question in my mind about the outcome of the last election.
Thank you for making all of us look better than any of us deserve. Thank you for always having all of our backs.
And we should not dictate from Washington, D.C. what sort of weapons they can get access to. We should let them make the decision and provide them everything they need in order to defend themselves and their country and defeat Vladimir Putin.
Prosecutors across the country are refusing to enforce laws that we already have. So if you're the United States Senate, if you're John Cornyn from Texas, supposedly free state of Texas, you'd probably want to do something about that. But no, John Cornyn has decided to take guns from lawful gun owners. And if there's one reason you vote Republican, it's to prevent that. So it's not surprising that John Cornyn is very unpopular with Republican voters. Watch his reception today at the Texas Republican Convention. Listen for the boos.
As ABC 13's Erica Simon explains, the boos all because of Cornyn's role leading bipartisan talks on gun reform.
Do you think the January 6th attack on the Capitol would have happened without the influence of Donald Trump claiming election fraud?
There's been appropriate investigations by the FBI and the Department of Justice, a number of convictions, and I think that's the way that we deter this in the future.
Senator, what's your biggest concern for Texas right now, and what are you pushing forward to deal with it?
I've been encouraging everybody to do what I've done, which is to get vaccinated, and to me that is a much better solution than getting the virus. But as I said, my advice to anybody who will listen and for anybody I care about is to get vaccinated. Take advantage of that. That's the best thing you can do for yourself and your family and your future.
I'm a Republican man. As soon as I was eligible to take the vaccine, I did it.
The music that they put with that was so intense. But so this is just a little bit of the stuff that we've seen on media that goes, kind of directly against what this MAGA movement is. And I really think that if he gets elected as the Senate Majority Leader, that we are going to be in a situation where we just have more Mitch McConnell. The last thing we can do is squander our current lead in both the House and the Senate by getting these individuals and having them stay in power, controlling what Donald Trump is able and isn't able to present and to do throughout his term. And so I'm very worried about either one of the Johns, frankly, getting involved and becoming the Senate Majority Leader. So John Thune, the other one, he is speaking out against Trump getting involved in the race at all. He is urging Trump to stay out of the race. He basically is saying that he doesn't want Trump to put his thumb on the scale, and that if he elects or to elect the successor for Mitch McConnell. And he said that in recent days that he declared his preference is that Trump give Republican senators space to make their own decisions about who should lead the Senate majority, arguing that Trump would be in the best interest to stay neutral. The argument is that if the person that he wants to win does not win, that the other two might be angry with him and then no longer want to work with him and different things like that. Again, though, I do worry that we're going to be in a situation where we're going to end up with another Mitch McConnell and that they will stand against everything that he is trying to do. So it says the allies of Thune's rivals in the leadership roles, John Cornyn and Rick Scott, say that calls for Trump to stay out of the leadership race indicate that Thune is nervous that the president-elect would either endorse Cornyn or Scott, which would be a serious setback. They said he's terrified. He knows that Trump won't endorse him. And if that Trump gets involved, it will hurt him, Senate Republican aide said. Thune's rivals have a better relationship with Trump, especially Scott, who is closest to the president-elect of the three. Scott represents Trump's adopted home state of Florida, and as the National Republican of Central Committee. I don't know why my tongue is not working right now. The chairman traveled to Mar-a-Lago in April of 2021, when Trump was still something of a pariah among GOP senators, to give him the Champion of Freedom Award. Scott was later challenged about it in an interview with ABC's George, who said that if he was endorsing Trump's lies about the 2020 election. Trump on Thursday named Susie Wiles, who ran Scott's first campaign for governor in 2010, as the White House chief of staff. She served as his presidential campaign manager. He was also the first senator to travel to New York to attend Trump's criminal trial on charges of falsifying business records. Scott and his allies are hoping that Trump will weigh in strongly on his behalf in the leadership race. Without Trump's endorsement, he probably will not have a viable path to becoming the majority leader. So there's that. So it says Corn, who served as state GOP whip during Trump's first 2 years in the White House, doesn't have a good relationship with Trump, but his supporters argue that he's closer to the president-elect than Thune is. Corn spent time with Trump in recent weeks in Reno, Nevada, and a meeting in Austin, Texas. So it says Thune has had a rockier relationship with Trump in the past. It hit a low point after Thune opposed an effort to object to the certification of electoral votes for Joe Biden after the 2020 election. Trump got so mad about Thune's pledge to defeat objections to Arizona and Pennsylvania's electoral slates 4 years ago that he called for the Senate Dakota Republican to face the primary challenger in 2022. Says South Dakota doesn't like weakness, Trump tweeted in December of 2020. He will be primaried in 2022. The issue is these guys haven't been primaried. They have been in these offices for too many years. Again, you're looking at about 20 years for each one of them. Let me see. So John Thune has been in office He has been in the Senate since 2005. Let me see. Corin. I think it's like Corn in. I don't know. So John Corn has been in office since 2002. And even Rick Scott, I want to say, has been in there for a while. So Rick Scott has just gotten elected in 2018 to the Senate. So he's definitely the newer guy amongst them, which is where he gets, kind of that a little bit behind in the way things work. But in my opinion, that's not a bad thing. We need to be in a situation where we are replacing these guys with new blood, because they just keep getting richer in office. They just keep doing things that benefit themselves, and they are not looking out for what the American people want. If they were, then we wouldn't be in the situations that we're in. So Laura Loomer had Rick Scott on recently, and she kind of discusses with him the different things that are going on in this majority leader election. So let me pull this up real quick.
Another really concerning thing is the amount of money that's flowing. So you know just as well as I know, Senator, and as you know, I ran for Congress here in the state of Florida twice. I was a Republican nominee. President Trump endorsed me, and I had the great honor of receiving his vote when I ran in Palm Beach County. What's just as important as what you stand for as a candidate and also as an elected official are the people that you surround yourself with. And one of John Cornyn's top consultants is a guy by the name of Rob Jesmer. He happens to work for a company called FP1 Strategies, and He's one of the individuals who John Cornyn said that he plans on keeping on his team, especially if he becomes the next Senate GOP leader. I want to play a clip for you and get your reaction of Rob Jesmer calling Donald Trump a psychopath. Again, this guy is John Cornyn's top strategist and consultant who would be advising him at the hip if he were to become the next Senate GOP leader. So let's go ahead and play this clip of John Cornyn's consultant calling Donald Trump a psychopath.
Trump's a psychopath. I don't want him to be or not be our president.
How in the world can anyone be on Trump's side if they employ people who are doing stuff like that? I just don't understand it. I just don't.
Let's play it one more time, just in case you didn't hear that the first time.
Trump's a psychopath. I don't want him to be or not be our president.
What are your thoughts on that, Senator Scott?
Well, that's inappropriate. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, I can't believe somebody that would work with you would ever say something like that. I just can't believe anybody would do that.
And then also hire that person to be their top strategist and then ask President Trump to go ride on Trump Force One like an opportunist. So it's pretty clear that, if John Cornyn really thought that it was great to see President Trump, like he said, well, why hasn't he fired Rob Jesmer? Why is Rob Jesmer still, working with John Cornyn? So would you call on Senator John Cornyn to disavow Rob Jesmer and the comments that Rob Jesmer made about Donald Trump?
Well, I can just say from my standpoint, I'd have to, if somebody said that worked with me, I can't imagine how they could work with me because, how could I be supportive of Trump and then somebody that's working with me not be supportive of Trump? So, that'd be a decision that somebody else gets to make for them. But if it was somebody that worked for me and they said that, I can't imagine how I could let them continue to work with me.
And another election that it just got announced today, but I've been talking about this for weeks, is the upcoming Senate GOP leadership race. And I've been warning people now for about a month or so, and I've been telling them, listen, Mitch McConnell is on his way out as the Senate GOP leader, and they want to undermine Donald Trump. And you're going to see that they're going to announce a vote to take place 8 days after the election, and that's going to be the Senate GOP leadership race on November 13th. I understand that you and the other senators today received an email from Mitch McConnell telling you that the election is in fact going to take place on November 13th. What can you tell our listeners about the email you received from Mitch McConnell today?
Well, by our bylaws, the election's supposed to be in January. But, what's happened is they've rushed these elections. And so all these brand new senators, and hopefully we'll get quite a few of them, they just got up there. And then the day after they get up there, they're expected to decide who their leader is going to be for the next 2 years. But the bottom line is, I ran against Mitch McConnell 2 years ago because there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We need fundamental change in the Senate. We need somebody that's going to support Donald Trump's agenda. We need somebody that's going to focus on solutions, whether it's inflation, the debt, the border, the world's on fire. We need to have somebody that's going to represent the Republican Trump voters. So that's what I'm running on, and I've been very clear if I can win, what I'm going to do. So I'm very optimistic that we can win, but we just got to, like every other election, you got to work hard.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to talk.
And he's right. So we have to have people in there that are going to support the agenda. Otherwise, we are going to be in the situation where these 4 years are going to be wasted. And I think one of the key things is, too, we need to keep this energy because in 2 years, a lot of these seats of these rhinos are going to be up for re-election again. And guys, we have got to get new blood in these offices. Everybody cries and cries and cries that we want term limits. We want term limits. We want term limits. But then we put the same people in over and over again. The reason that you have a primary is to replace that dinosaur that's in office and put that new blood there so that we can get new people. Stop being afraid that they're going to lose against whoever the Democratic nominee is and sticking with the same old dinosaur over and over and over again. Find somebody whose views you line up with and who you agree with their agenda and what they stand for, and put them in office. Because I'm sorry, but there's no way that people like Mitch McConnell have stayed in office all these years because they have a majority representing him. I doubt it. I strongly doubt it, especially considering the fact that Donald Trump was just elected president and had the popular vote. That tells me, guys, that you agree with his agenda and you want him to be able to be successful. The first step in that is making sure that the leaders of this Senate and this House are who they need to be in order for him to be able to do that.
Talk about how this is going down, because just like we saw in 2022, when the election was on November 16th, Mitch McConnell won in a secret ballot election. And Mitch McConnell and John Thune and John Cornyn, both of whom are Mitch McConnell puppets and really anti-Trump senators, if we're being honest, these people are rhinos and they are definitely not allies of the MAGA Trump base. They want to have a secret ballot initiative. And so the only reason why you would want to have a secret ballot initiative, from my understanding, and perhaps you can elaborate for the viewers, is so that you could hide from the public who you voted for. And so in this case, they don't want people to see who the senators voted for in case Donald Trump gets involved and issues an endorsement. Now, Donald Trump has not issued endorsements yet for the Senate GOP leadership race. However, I can imagine that once he starts seeing all these things about your opponents, and we're going to talk about this tonight on Loomer Unleashed, John Cornyn, for example, in 2023, we have that screenshot. Let's get it up on the screen. He said that Donald Trump cannot win and that age has passed him by. So he said Donald Trump was too old to run for president. He was entertaining a Ron DeSantis campaign. And then John Thune actually endorsed Tim Scott, senator from South Carolina. So these people aren't even loyal to Donald Trump. And then you, the senator from Florida, you endorsed Donald Trump in November of 2023 before this very contentious primary between him and Ron DeSantis. And you faced a lot of criticism for doing that, given the fact that Ron DeSantis is the governor here. However, he decided to bite the hand that fed him, and he decided to go after the man who he owed his entire political career to. And so, why do you think John Cornyn and John Thune and Mitch McConnell want to deceive the American people and deceive Donald Trump by pushing for a secret ballot vote?
Well, first off, I think we all should know every other vote we take is everybody knows how we vote, right? And so I've never understood why this would not be an open vote. So, look, no one's been a bigger supporter in the Senate than me for Donald Trump and what he believes in. I've lived the American dream. I know what it's like to build businesses. We need to have somebody that's run the Senate that's going to actually focus on how do we solve these problems, rather than, like right now, it's really just the Washington establishment versus the Republicans that want to elect Trump. And I think we ought to have a leader that says, let's actually do the things we run on. And that's what I plan on doing.
Let's actually do the things that we run on. Wouldn't it be nice if every politician sat out to actually do the things that they run on? That would be a freaking relief. And so this is just where we're at. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. I'm not sure how many people even are invested in these majority releases. I want to encourage you guys to reach out to your local officials and let them know what you're interested in. If you think that Scott should be the one who is getting their vote, reach out to your Senate leader or your senator, your local senator, and let them know, hey, I back Rick Scott for this position. If you are someone who wants more of the same of what we had, and you really do want that more, I guess I should say, more right-winged person, a little bit further to the right, that's going to be not so much backing as many of Trump's policies to be on board, then you reach out and say, hey, I want one of the Johns to get that position. Whatever it is that you are thinking and wanting, you have to let your voice be heard. You have to. And so that's just the thing. That's where I'm at. So I want to end this by talking about the mental health issues that are going on inside of this country, especially following this election and leading up to this election and completely surrounding this election. It's just honestly been very, very sad to see the rhetoric and how things have gone to the point where these people are genuinely terrified for their lives. They're having complete and total meltdowns on social media. They're posting videos of themselves just screaming into the cameras and things like that. I'm sorry, but if Kamala would have won, you would not have seen me do any of these things. I did not do this whenever Biden won. You didn't see all of the craziness. I mean, there was protest in Philadelphia already. It just shouldn't be happening. And I really hope that one of the things that they can do is find some type of way to hold the media accountable for the hate and the division that they stir up whenever it causes these things. I mean, there's never a time or a place that when your candidate doesn't get elected that you should be committing suicide or even contemplating suicide, things like that. For all of the people who are saying that they are going to move out of this country because of him being elected, I mean, I guess don't let the door hit you right on the way out. You do you, boo. Do what you have to do if you think that that's what's going on. I say you already lived 4 years under him. Nobody came for your rights at that point. He's not going to sit there and put you guys like in a I don't know. Do you think that he's going to dig a well and throw all of you in there and like drop lotion down to you like the guy on Silence of the Lambs? No, like it's just not what's going to happen. But unfortunately, this is the mindset of these people. They just really truly honestly believe that they are going to be attacked or that something terrible is going to happen to them. And what it's leading to ultimately is there are Trump supporters who have actually been attacked on the streets by these super far left-wing people that are so motivated by their hate that they feel the need to attack people. Let me get you guys this article. There was a little old lady that attacked someone. Let me see if I can find it. I have so many things pulled up. What it comes down to is exactly what Scott Jennings said on CNN, though. I'm going to go ahead and play that, guys, for you guys real quick. This is the Democrats' fault. They lost sight of what it is that their party represented. They lost sight of what the American people want, and this is how we ended up where we are. So let me play this while I look for the other video that I'm looking for. After I turn on the sound.
For a Republican, for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans, fix immigration, try to get crime under control, try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. I mean, we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line, and we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election. And so I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
You can make her happy for 45.
That was Scott Jennings. So he is on CNN, and he's kind of like the voice of reason on that show, to be completely honest. He really just lays stuff out there in a sensible manner and makes people realize, in my opinion, he's right. Like, the media has to approach things differently. There's no reason that they carry on the way that they do. I mean, I've seen videos of the actual reporters having hissy fits on the channel after, like, while they're discussing and just talking about things. Where are we at? Goodness, I had too many tabs open. I'm so sorry, guys. Trying to find. Well, let's just pull up Lefties Losing It. I know that there is a ton of videos like that.
And this woman is too old to be this stupid, but sadly, leftism and TDS can leave the sufferer delirious, delusional, and dangerously stupid.
You voted for a racist, a rapist, a dictator. You voted for a bully, a bigot, and a narcissist. Even the Germans tried to warn us, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the historians, the psychologists, the educators, and the intellectuals. Of course not, because Dictatorship 101 is to convince you to distrust the media, the educated, and to create an us versus them mentality.
It's always the dimmest folk who go.
Here's the thing. I do believe that the media keeps us separated. I do believe that it turns us into an us versus them. The problem is that I think that the us are on the sensible side. And I think that if they aligned more with common sense, they wouldn't see so many people from their base completely walking away. And that's what I was talking about. Like, we have to find a way to get back to the middle, because where we are right now, it's disturbing. Here, let me go to this video. This is the one that I was wanting.
Stop. Stop.
Damn. Like, why is a grown woman acting like that because Donald Trump won? Why have you gotten to the point where you are this emotional about an election? This is why our mental health crisis is happening, because of the rhetoric in our media and the stuff that they are brainwashed with day after day after day, starting with our children.
Well. See, that's why I'm recording, because the cops ain't gonna believe this shit.
Language warning for this, pretty much this entire video. There's going to be a lot of language in this video. Again, another adult having a full-blown meltdown. Guys, it's 4 years. It's going to be 4 years, and then there will be another election. And guess what? In 2 years, you have the ability to take back that House and the Senate and things like that. But it's not the end of the world. None of this is the end of the world.
Bitch! What the hell?
If you voted for Donald Trump, I will never not know that about you. And that's something we'll both have to live with.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I will be leaving the country and my dad will be staying blocked after this election. See you never.
Like, to let yourself get divided so much from your own family? Why? You think they do it for attention? You're probably right. I'm sure they get a lot of reactions and things like that. Probably lots of clicks and views, probably lots of money from it. But why is this established as what's I don't know, normal, I guess? It's not normal for me to come out and say, "Hey, I voted for Trump, and I will stand by my beliefs and my values, and I am strong and will continue to say that regardless of how many people stand against me." That's not normal, and I should be silenced, and people should unfollow me, and people should threaten my children and say that my parenting capabilities should be in question because I voted for Trump. But this is normal? This is okay? Like, this is what we want?
Fuck this.
Bye, bitch.
What's up,
break, right? Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream, and none of this will have ever happened, right? Like it'll be like the first time, and then we're all gonna pull through fine in 4 years. Correct? Please, someone tell me. I can tell you one thing right now, marriage is the farthest thing from on the table currently. So they screwed the pooch on that one if they thought that any of this was going to actually help with the whole family and kids department and lowering birth rates, because not even. Any semblance of thoughts I had or hope for that is completely going to be a no thanks for me, love. Do you think I would ever even dare bring a child into this country now? It was rough before. Now? No. That's cute. And the men, don't even get me started about dating. To think I was still entertaining a few moderates here and there sometimes. No, honey, no. Not even close. That's never goodbye.
No, I'm about to say something, and some of y'all are gonna get real mad at me, but honestly, at this point, I really just don't care. I genuinely hope an asteroid hits the United States of America. I have given up on humanity in this country. I think it'd be better if, honestly, we were just all gone. I think we should just have another, mass extinction.
This is what they jump to. This. It's better if everyone was dead. What? Like, how, between this and the people who say that they hope that he fails and that they hope that he is the worst president ever, and that way it can slap us all in the face. Between those two side of things, do you hear yourself? Do you hear what's actually coming out of your mouth? You guys are unhinged. Absolutely unhinged. Yeah, it is. That's the other thing. You just want to say something. It's up to individual states also. These lefties needs to be educated. You're shopping and listening. Hey, thanks for so much for listening in, Tater K. But I agree. So many people don't realize that it is your local government that controls so much more, but the only elections that people want to show up and vote in are these main elections. And that's the big thing. We need Republicans to also vote in 2 more years. We need you guys to come out in 2 more years also to stand up and make sure that we keep that majority, because time and time again, we see that Republicans do not show up at the polls for those midterm elections. They just don't.
I think that would really solve everybody's problems, because I just kind of am done. I don't think some people just can't come back from this, bro. I think we just need to start over. Just wipe it out, start over. That's how God would do it. That's how God would do it, just saying.
Me and my family are leaving. Just talked to my mom about it. We're leaving. We're seeking asylum somewhere else. But I just want to say this. In the states where the votes mattered the most, 69% of white women in Pennsylvania voted for Donald Trump. And then I believe it was 67 or 68% of white women voted for Donald Trump in Michigan. And all the other swing states where it really mattered, white women came in, turned up for Donald Trump. Black people, hear me and hear me well. This is not going to work out for us. It's not. I'm leaving. I'm not staying for the Handmaid's Tale. I'm not. And not only that, our rights are gone as we know it. So Donald Trump literally said he wanted to take it back to a time specifically where black people's votes didn't matter. They even tried to take that shit to the Supreme Court and try to get Kamala removed from the race. Oh, well, Kamala, she should have helped me with my child support. Well, hey, she didn't win. Congratulations on that part. But you do understand that with no abortion rights, you about to be the peppy. So, you know what? If this is what y'all wanted, I'm happy for you, America. I'm happy that y'all got the results that y'all wanted since he won the way that he won. I'm happy y'all got what y'all wanted, but I am leaving. You know what they say, if you don't like it, you can leave. And baby, you ain't got to worry about me. You ain't got to worry about me.
I was just walking down the street to go get my medication because I'm out and I need it for today. And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids, and she had this look on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, we both kind of nodded. Like we were both just devastated, and you could just tell in her eyes.
What I was getting ready to type, and then I decided I'll just say it. The party of love and acceptance It seems that death is their answer to everything. They love and accept you so long as you only bow down to their wishes, their desires, that you only speak the things that they find pleasable to their ears, that so long as you fall in line and never have an opinion that's differing from theirs at all. The party of love and acceptance, so long as you agree with them and you walk on eggshells so that you don't ever offend them. The party of love and acceptance, or death. That's it. If you don't agree, they want you dead. If you don't agree, they would rather have extinction. They would rather kill their babies. They would rather kill Trump. They would rather do all of these things. If you don't agree, they would rather you be dead. And that's sad. It's very sad. And I will say that that's not my opinion of every person who votes Democrat. That is my opinion, however, of the far left.
I can't believe this country did this again. Why did I let myself have hope?
I just texted my best friend of 14 years, literally half of my life. I'm 28, and I asked them who they voted for. They said Donald Trump, and they said, I'm assuming you voted the opposite, and I said yes. And then my friend texted me and said, will you still be my friend? Half of my life.
Half of your life, and you're willing to throw that all away over a difference of opinion. Why is this the way that they approach things? I have people who have followed me for 3 years, who have watched and seen that I have maintained a respectful approach on every single case that I have covered. I have never added drama. I have never tried to misuse a child's name. I have never tried to do any of that. Never of it. And I have them saying disgusting things to me in the comments. I have them telling me that they are unfollowing me, that my children need protected from me, and different things like that, because I voted for a different person than them, because we had a difference of opinion. 3 years. They have watched the type of parent that I am on this platform and off. A lot of them have been members, so they have seen pictures. They have been in my Discord. They have heard the stories of my children for 3 years. And an election is what changed their opinion of me, because I am a Christian and because I voted for Donald Trump. That is sad. I don't think I've ever hid the fact that I was a Christian. I may have never. Well, right, and that's the other thing. I've never said that the Democratic Party was communist either. That's a whole thing in itself. But it's just very sad that, right, and I don't grift from my audience. Right. But all of that being said, all because I voted for Trump. You do you. If that's what you feel like you need to do, if your mental health crisis that you're in right now because he won led you to think that you can no longer trust Sleuth Mom for her opinion or to hear about cases and all that stuff, for every single one of you who said that I should never talk about another child's case again, that I should never try to advocate for children again, that I should never try to advocate against CPS again because I have chosen to vote for Donald Trump. What is wrong with you? Where in the world is your brain whenever it comes for what you know that I have stood for and will continue to stand for, regardless of you telling me I should or shouldn't do it, first of all. But what? Come on, guys. Welcome to the middle. I think I would have like changed the channel name to Welcome to the Middle, where I agree with some things but not all things on both sides. And I've maintained that since day one. But Donald Trump, I'm sorry, he is also more towards the middle than what the far right is. Stop believing lies and research for yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
This person is my best friend.
I don't even think you fucking assholes realize what you did. Now because you elected Trump in office, I gotta go and spend fucking less for gas, less at groceries, have a savings account that my kids can actually be proud of. We could actually do something with it. I don't know, maybe like a vacation to Florida or something. Who knows? Now I gotta get used to a strong economy, secure borders, no new wars. What kind of shit is that? Make America great again.
It is not over for Kamala. And all of you celebrating a Trump victory before the votes are even fully counted, may I remind you that a lot can change at the last minute. And even if we do fail to win the presidency for Kamala, after all the work I've done for white dudes for Kamala over the last few months, we will return in 2028. Kamala 2028 will be the greatest political comeback the world has ever seen. Not just America, but the world. And I firmly believe that Kamala is still the best person in the whole of the United States to be the president of this country. And if we band together now, if we pull back some of those white dudes who went for Trump this time, by growing the White Dudes for Harris campaign, we can make a permanent change. We can put the MAGA crowd away once and for all. I'm dispirited. I am dispirited by what has happened, but we can't just give up. We can't just stop now. It's so close. It was so close. There's just so much hate in this country. So much hate and misinformation from Elon. And we've got to fight back. We've got to fight back. Kamala 2028. We're coming back.
You want to fight back? Absolutely. Do it at your polls. Do it in your local government. Make changes. But let me just tell you this. If you continue to fight back and you continue to stay to that far left agenda and forget what the general majority of this country wants and needs, then you will never get back in power as far as the Democratic Party goes. You guys cannot continue to try to force everyone to think and believe how you believe. It's just not how that works. It's just not. Yeah, Trump was a Democrat until he ran for politics. His Democratic beliefs left him. His beliefs stayed. It's just that the Republicans held on to those beliefs that the Democrats let go of. Exactly. Trump has come and picked up the working class party and picked up all of the things that the Democrats used to stand for, and now they don't. They just don't. Almost all state mental institutions have closed down and put these people out on the streets. It's terrifying. The mental health crisis in our country is very strong, and you can see it after Election Day every year. This is a rally in the UK. They are over there so excited, so relieved that we elected Trump. They're so relieved.
If you are seeing this, just know that the great deplorables of the United Kingdom love you, we are with you, we stand with you, and we want you to succeed. Forget about the people in London, forget about the establishment, forget about the detractors in the fake news media. The real people out there in the United Kingdom, we love you, Mr. President!
Two, already. I've lost 2 friends today because of this election. Not because we had a difference of opinion, but because they're dead.
No, I don't think y'all get it. I just woke up and I found out that the big motherfucking orange, stupid Oompa Loompa motherfucking ass is back in office. I broke up with my boyfriend last night because he told me he regrets meeting me because I spoke about how I should have my rights. And then I have to go plan a Disney trip. Should be fun, should be graceful. No, wrong. My family has been in a war for the past 2 weeks with each other. We're not on good terms. None of us are happy. Okay? And let alone I have to sit for the next hour with my sister and her toxic ass motherfucking boyfriend. You think I'm doing okay? You really think I'm doing okay? Oh, and I'm hungover. Let's just get that into the fucking playbook. Why not? What else can go wrong? Give it to me, motherfucking world.
I feel absolutely so betrayed by my country right now. And it's so frustrating. I don't even know what to say right now. We tried, okay? To everyone from other countries that are saying America failed, we tried. The system is inherently flawed, and we tried. And to anybody who follows me on TikTok, if you are happy about the results of the election, unfollow me right now. Get off my page. Do not talk to me. I don't care if I've known you for years. I do not want to talk to you ever again. The fact that you would purposefully vote for somebody who wants to take away my rights as a woman, don't ever talk to me again.
What rights is he taking away? I'm so tired of that being said. He has not taken away any rights, guys. All he did was put it back to your state and your local governments. That's crazy. Like, stop believing the lies.
Quick question. So does anybody know how to find or hire a hitman or woman? Because we don't want to be sexist. So, but I think we could pull this off collectively. If you want to chip in, DM.
You see that? Like, I hope he don't go outside at all until Inauguration Day, and it'd be nice if they would just find an inside venue for that, to be honest, because these people are not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. But here's a news flash for you. Vance is a lot more right-winged than Trump is. So I really think that if you get rid of Trump, you're gonna end up in a worser situation, as far as, like, against the left-wing agenda.
Forgive me for being a little emotional here, but what the fuck is going on? People in the future are gonna look back at this time and they're gonna be like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? Because we were progressing. When Obama got elected, I really feel like we were progressing. We were going in the right motherfucking direction. But then Trump comes in and he gives a voice to the voiceless. He gives a voice to the criminals, to the racists, to the white motherfuckers who want to be back on top. I don't want to touch another man with a 10-foot motherfucking pole. Ladies, where are we going? 4B movement for real. Fuck men. Fuck all of you. And fuck you ugly dumb bitches who voted for him too. You guys are a piece of shit. You guys have internalized fucking misogyny and you're dumb. You're stupid. Oh, and all the climate change shit? Going out the motherfucking window because it's a hoax. Bro, we're cooked. We're cooked. This is our last motherfucking year on this goddamn planet. And to be able to appoint 3 more fucking Supreme Court justices or whatever the fuck he's able to get more motherfuckers that believe the same beliefs that he believes into office. And I guess that's what you guys want. That's what you guys want. You guys want to be radical Christians. You guys are Jesus Christ, right?
I'm not joking when I say I mean this in the most disrespectful, mean way I can even say it. But if you voted for Donald Trump, then you don't deserve any part of my life. You don't deserve to be part of my children's life, my husband's life, my extended family's life. None of it. You don't get any of it. You have directly infringed upon the rights of people that I love, people that I care about. You have infringed upon the rights of people that I don't even know. And this election has really shown that American values do not align with my values as a person, as a human, as a social worker, as, someone who actually cares about other people. So, if you find yourself as you were one that voted for, the Republican Party, no, thank you.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, the language throughout all of these videos, it's just atrocious. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I know people swear and stuff like that, but just it goes over and above what it really needs to be. Chicken Lady, you came in and just reminded me of something. So we were completely off topic story, by the way. Sorry about that, you guys. But we were at the hospital for the baby. She had to get her testing done, and one of the snacks that we took out with us were those chicken biscuit crackers or whatever. And she decided that they are now going to be called hey crackers instead of chicken crackers. And I was like, I kind of gave her a face because that is the name of the chicken that Chicken Lady had us name. And so now we have hey crackers that we eat. They do not include the actual chicken, but I just thought that was cute and funny. You seen a woman saying no more shaving makeup going out because of the votes. Sorry, not sorry. Oh no. Listen, there's this guy coming up here in a minute. He cracks me up. He's right after this lady. He cracks me up, this next guy.
I can't do this anymore. I'm literally sick. I'm literally sick to my stomach.
What has happened to America? What has happened to democracy? What has happened to freedom? I'm done. This is a message to anyone who follows me. If you voted for Trump, unfollow me and block me. If you didn't vote, unfollow me and block me. The fact that it's this close means I've lost all hope in the American people. Like, it should not be this close. Why would anyone vote for this person? He's so evil. He's so demented. Kamala's not perfect. We all know that. We all know that. She is not a convicted felon, rapist, crazy, fascist, dictator, psycho.
I think it's so ironic how liberal women and women who voted for Kamala are saying that for the next 4 years, they're not going to sleep with another man. I find it so ironic because at least then you won't need an abortion. It took you Donald Trump to get in office for you to stop being a whore. See, things are already starting to change for the better.
Damn! Shit. Emotional damage. It's not okay.
I thought that was freaking hilarious. Like, oh, nobody thought about it that way. All these people saying they aren't going to be with a man and all this other stuff because men voted Trump and men are evil. They're like doing their own birth control now. I guess we should start promoting abstinence to them.
This is not okay. This simply will not do. And this is not okay. And I'm not good with this. This is sick. This is sick. That should not be there. And it's wrong. And you're wrong. And everything is wrong. And this house is not even my house. You just bought it for me and I don't want it.
I think the hardest part of all of this is just like thinking about all the men who were just like, the economy, woman in my life. The economy, woman in my life. The economy.
Another NBC News exit poll in Wisconsin suggesting, this is Dasha Burns of NBC News, suggesting that Trump has doubled his black support in Wisconsin.
Wow.
Trump is polling apparently about 20% of the black vote versus 78% for Kamala Harris. 4 years ago, he won 8% of black voters in Wisconsin. I mean, you're looking at identity realignment happening in real time in this election cycle.
Well, that didn't go the way we had hoped. Not at all. Or expected. Yeah, I mean, for him to win the popular vote? Are you kidding me? I did not know our country was that full of racist bastards. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an all-out war on the LGBTQ+, on women, on people of any color other than Blanco, or Blanca, or whatever. No, they don't care about the Blanca. It's just the Blanco. Yeah, so better go out there and get you a Bible, because you're going to be needing that shit now.
This one's too long. I'm just going to skip it. They're just not that funny. Yeah, they do. They want their 15 minutes of fame. I'm gonna give it to them. I think it's hilarious for some of them, but I also think that it highlights a very, very key issue in our country. I mean, we talk about the mental health crisis in this country a lot on this channel, and I really truly believe that the vast majority of it is because of the media in this country, because of the different types of circumstances the media in this country create. They really do create many, many, many of the problems that we deal with.
Yes. Drink coffee.
Donald Trump is president, and I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years. In protest and protection of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency healthcare, you're fucked and you're gonna die. I think that is sufficient enough reason to stop having sex.
Just want to point out again, even in Florida where they passed the 6-week abortion ban, that is for abortions that are, I don't even know what the word for it that I'm thinking of is. Like, just for because. What are they? But anyways, it's not for abortions that are needed for medical reasons. For example, if your baby is a child that is going to be born with a fatal deformity or something along those lines, you can get an abortion all the way up until the 3rd trimester still. If the baby is going to cause death to the mother, all the way up to the 3rd a third trimester, you can get an abortion still, even in Florida where they have the 6-week ban. This has nothing to do about the health of the parents or the health of the child. This is people who are getting abortions just for funsies, just because they feel like it, just because they want it to happen. And this is crazy. These people are racist. Why am I racist? Because I didn't vote for a black woman because I don't care about color or gender, right? Yeah, I agree. The video of your goat screaming hysterically, you've been replaying it on That's so funny. Every time you see someone screaming about it, that's so funny. Chicken lady.
Don't you agree? This vote wasn't a vote for Americans. This vote was for men. And unless we want to become the handmaid's tale, then us women need to protest because this is some buttery bullshit. I'm sorry to the women and minorities who aren't going to get the help that they need in the next 4 years. I'm sorry for the people who are impoverished who are just going to keep dying from starvation and lack of healthcare and lack of governmental support. People are actually praising this guy, and it's a freaking joke. Look at the states he won. You won't catch me there. You'll catch me in New York City. And I'm sorry to all the women who are going to suffer in these bumpkin-ass, small-ass little towns because of this. Reason why I'm a New Yorker and always will be. Fuck Florida.
I voted.
Yeah.
And it was weird because they wouldn't let me leave unless I voted, and it wouldn't let me select Trump.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm literally telling you, like, I just voted Kamala.
You don't vote for anybody if you're gonna vote for that piss-ass cunt.
But the thing is, they wouldn't let me leave, and I was literally sitting there, like, in the booth.
It's the law. They would have to let you leave. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You can't. Don't even tell me that. I can't. I won't even accept that.
Grandma's like,
I'm sorry.
Was something wrong with the machine?
No, I'm just fucking around.
So that's part 3. Yeah. I just don't have words. I just don't even have words. We're going to keep having this conversation, though. I know some of my mods don't even agree with me having this conversation. Just because you follow my channel does not mean that you necessarily agree with everything that I say. It's okay. We're allowed to have differences of opinion. This is my YouTube channel, though, and I have the right and the ability and the desire to talk about what I want to talk about. I changed my description on my channel months and months ago to just a channel because I don't know what direction I'm going to go in from one day to the other. I will be discussing what I am passionate about, whether it's a true crime case, whether it's politics, whether it's current events, whatever it is. This is just going to be where Sleuth Mom comes and chit chats and rants with you guys. And if you guys ever want to come up on panel, or if you have thoughts about a subject that I'm talking about, please feel free to even just say in the chat, and I will let you up because I don't know. I think the conversations need to be had. I'm tired of being quiet about every thought and things that I feel like I'm worried or concerned about, what people think or what they're going to say or what they're going to do or whatever. We're done. We did that. And now we are moving past it, and we will be outspoken and we will do all the things. Oh, I did see. She said this is why some of us states got devastated by the hurricanes. What? She did not. Are you kidding me? Like, people died. Thousands of people died. People's homes were ruined. People's lives were ruined. That is disgusting. Wow. Let me see. Cardi deletes.
Expose major issues with the polling that we were showed.
Let me see this.
It also proved that celebrity endorsements just do not work. Now, rapper Cardi B was so upset that people don't care what she thinks about politics, she posted this message before having to delete it a few minutes later.
This is why some of y'all states be getting hurricanes. That's what I'm gonna say.
Pretty disgusting stuff. Florida, Louisiana,
Wow.
Texas, and North Carolina had all just been called for Trump just before she tweeted that. And of course, we still had Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Lizzo, Eminem, and many, many more endorse Harris. But people ignored them. And now even The Guardian was asking this question. George Clooney, who cares? Did celebrity endorsements actually harm Kamala Harris? To answer this question, they went to an arts professor at New York University who finally stumbled on the truth.
That's disgusting. You know what else that I want to talk about too? Probably not today. We're going to do a more in-depth video about it. Is going to be this FEMA stuff. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the FEMA director. They actually told people to avoid homes with Trump signs. I have the pictures and stuff like that of the text messages. I'm not sure if they're in this article. Of the actual paperwork, but they literally told people while going to clean up this mess to avoid going to help people who had Trump signs in their yard or were flying Trump support. Like, that's insane to me. Absolutely disgusting. People need to be helped regardless of who they help or who they vote for. I would never ever wish death or violence or disaster onto anybody that I disagreed with for a political reason. Never. And it's gross. But I'm going to tell you guys something. We see the same type of rhetoric on the YouTube streets. You know, and I'm going to say this because I don't necessarily agree with every channel out there. I am very diverse in who I follow, who I listen to, who I support, who I don't support. But some of these channels take these hate campaigns so far. Some of these channels take these hate campaigns so far that I really do fear violence or repercussions that you couldn't even imagine coming out of some of the hate that some of these channels spew. And I think that they think that it's okay to do that because they have watched the mainstream media stir that same type of hate and division and be extremely successful for it for the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And it's not okay. It's not okay to wish harm or disaster on absolutely anyone, in my opinion. These are real life people that have real life bodies and real life souls and all the things. And once they are dead, they are dead. They will not come back. There's no second chance once you take that move to actually end somebody's life or to actually cause them a disruption in their life. And I think a lot of people forget, with the mental health crisis that's going on, the person on the other side of the keyboard of you may be somebody who is actively going through a mental health crisis and that could end up ending their life because of things that you said on the other side of the keyboard. And you have to really truly stop and think about the fact that your words matter. And that if you say something toxic to somebody and then they decide to cause harm to themselves, how could you live with yourself after that? That's what I was saying on election night and the day after the election and in the videos that I did after the election talking about the politics and things like that. I am well aware that over, what is it, 70 million now? People voted for Kamala Harris. I am well aware that over 70 million people are unhappy. Here's the number right now. Are unhappy with the results of this election. You win some, you lose some. That's what happens. But I do think that there is a true crisis whenever we are seeing the type of responses that we are. I really do think that if you are having an emotional response to this election, that you really truly need to take a break, reach out to the suicide hotline, reach out to mental health advisors, get yourself into some type of counseling program, and really reflect on what is important in life and what actually matters. I'm just going to say that because it just goes too far. It really, really just does. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. I will see you guys either later tonight or potentially tomorrow afternoon. I got some more stuff that I want to show you guys and talk to you guys about. A lot of different things. So, and I'm going to look up this stuff that Ringo was mentioning about the insurance. I honestly did not realize that there is this whole insurance crisis that's going on right now. No clue about that. And I hope that that's something that they can find some type of resolution to, because that's terrifying to think about spending all that money in investment properties and different things like that, and then just having your insurance be pulled. That's not okay. So hopefully we can look into that and see what exactly is going on with that and bring some more awareness to that issue, because I'm pretty sure there was a few of us who didn't even know that's going on. So love you guys, and I will talk to you all later.